Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. I've been watching a few games this NBA season, been able to catch a game here, catch a game there. One of the games I was able to watch yesterday was the Lakers game, right? And as y'all know, Sunday is my off day, so I really don't try to watch games for work. I just try to watch them to enjoy it, right? But I was watching that game yesterday. And the game was actually pretty competitive. The Lakers were playing the Portland Trail Blazers pretty close. Also, I want to say this. The Lakers were playing some good defense yesterday. Not enough people are talking about the defense. Everyone is focusing on the shooting. It is a real problem. I absolutely understand it. But the Lakers have been playing some good defense, and it's one of the reasons they've been in the last two games that they played. Number one, against the Clippers, and number two, against the Portland Trail Blazers. I just want to say that. Now, if you watch that game, towards the end of the game, the Lakers, started making some kind of boneheaded plays. Russell Westbrook taking the 2-for-1. I wasn't really sure about that. Then LeBron was taking some ill-advised shots, right? They weren't able to get really some stops towards the end of the game, right? And ultimately, they ended up losing a close game that I thought the Lakers were going to actually win that game, but they ended up losing that game somehow. So they lost the game, right? And today I was just kind of thinking to myself, like, what to produce. And we were putting up a lot of polls on the channel. The reason we were putting up a lot of polls was really to get a temperature of what people thought about what transpired last night with the biggest story, because that's going to be the biggest story. Obviously, Zion Williamson got injured. I think Brandon Ingram also got injured yesterday. So we put up a poll on the channel, right? And we tried to make the viewpoints that we're going to give in this particular show here today as scientific as possible. So that's why we put up a poll, right? To get some other opinions, get some other people voting. And in the poll, we asked the question for Laker fans, are you happy LeBron James is with your franchise? That was the question we asked. The poll has been up for just over an hour. And in that poll, 1,700 people voted. I'm sure a lot more people are going to vote. And 62% of the people decided, who voted on that poll, basically said that no, they're not happy that LeBron James is with their team. Which brings us to the overall idea we're going to be discussing today, which is, if this thing turns and this fan base starts to get sick of what they're seeing, especially after seeing what they went through just last year, after finishing the year with a 33-win team and not even being able to make it into the play-in tournament, if this thing continues, will the Laker fans ultimately start turning on LeBron James? And will Shannon Sharpe and Nick Wright, who are the two biggest LeBron James supporters in big media, be able to kind of stave off, this tsunami of criticism that may head in the direction of LeBron James? But before we get into the larger ideas of this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Aura, who's also the official sponsor of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards, only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. Let's break this thing down now. Okay. I think a lot of the things that we feel about certain players are based off of the things people in the media have said about them, right? And the more you're told a certain thing about a particular player, the more you start to feel that particular way, especially with the messaging. If they keep hearing, this guy's great, this guy's great, this guy's great, ultimately you start believing it. If they keep saying he sucks, ultimately people start believing it, and then usually what happens. But really the question is, do we need to look at LeBron James at this point? And let me tell you why. First of all, I want to say that this is a nuance. No, the answer is going to be a nuanced one, right? I don't think it's a black and white answer, and I'll tell you why. As I've said, I've watched a few of the Lakers. No, I think I've watched about all 3 of the Laker games this season. And of the games that I've watched, we even posted on the channel, right? The evidence is out there. I've seen LeBron do a lot of good things for his team, right? Give you an example. In the Clippers game, right? Early on in the game, it looked like the game was going to get away from them. But it looked like LeBron was able to energize his team with his playmaking and his defense. And I said it on the channel. I said, had LeBron not played the way that he played, although they lost the game, I thought it would have been a blowout. So I'm not here really bashing LeBron. Instead, what I'm trying to understand is this. We're talking about the pros and cons that come with leadership. And I'll tell you what I mean. Usually, in big companies, the person that usually gets all the credit when things go right is the CEO, the founder, whoever you want to call it, right? Now, there are other people that play their roles, but he's the one that usually gets all the credit. Oh, he's so brilliant. He or she is so brilliant. Oh, look at the move. Look at the decision. Under the leadership of so-and-so person, they were able to accomplish this X, Y, and Z. Good. We understand that. But usually when things go wrong, usually in the corporate world, the CEO is the one that's held responsible. And in some cases, some of them get removed by the board of directors. They get fired or changed or whatever because this guy's doing a bad job. In sports, it's the same thing. In sports, if the team wins, if they win a championship, the best player usually gets all the credit, right? But in some instances, when the best player loses, then it becomes a nuanced conversation. But in the case of LeBron, the question I'm asking is, even though we understand there's more to it than just it's his fault when it's his fault when they do bad, and we got to give him credit when he does well. We understand he's doing a lot of things, even though they're losing. But given the fact that he is in fact the leader of this team, should he be blamed for this? And instead of looking at Russell Westbrook or looking at Anthony Davis or looking at Rob Pelinka, do we need to look at the best player on this team? Because the question will then become, what if this situation was the reverse? What if the Lakers were 3-0? What if they were 3-0? I think most of us would be saying that LeBron is doing an excellent job. Oh, he should be praised, right? And probably justifiably, because that's what comes with being the big dog, the big wig. But in this particular case, do we need to blame him? Not because not because we're saying everything is his fault, but just for the simple fact he's the leader of the team. And usually that's the way it goes, right? So I think it's an important question to ask because it happens to a lot of other players in other sports, and even in the NBA. When they lose, it's their fault. So should it be different for LeBron? And if that happens, if people ultimately start blaming him, do you think the platform that Shannon Sharpe and Nick Wright, the platforms that they have, do you think they'll be able to kind of curtail the criticism that's coming in the direction of LeBron? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and we catch y'all on the next episode. Peace.